Affordable housing is an important development in the country. The conditions are very bad where the air well is full of the smells of WC. They damage light and air and view. They are not cheap and they do not help create open space. They destroy the townscape, they destroy the social life. They promote crime, they make life difficult for children. Empirical evidence show that they can eventually damage people's minds and feelings. The conclusion from the research is that 4-story is the maximum height that where people can walk comfortably down to the street or to the ground, or even from the window you still can feel a part of to the street. Our site is located at Kuala Lumpur, Pantai Dalam, and just beside the Jalan Pantai Permai. We started from the PPR original block and then we split it so that we can harvest the morning and afternoon sunlight. Then we widen it up for better ventilation. Then the ground floor is contribute back to the communities and we distribute the taken ground floors into 4-story each and it forms clusters of neighborhood. The ground floors in the cluster is the common ground where the neighborhood meets. During the mornings, the brightest zone could be the farming zone area for the communities, and during the noon, it is where the housewife can hang out together after the morning market, and afternoon, kids can play around at the ground with their friends and doing homework. The common ground is surrounded by the active band, which is the yards and the kitchen, where housewives mostly use the spaces. So it actually allows them to monitor the ground floor and also is a part of a CPTD. The intersections of two ground floors is where the two clusters community meet, which is the lift core. We will cut through the common grounds, so you will see different kind of activities and happens at the common grounds of the clusters. It represents the identities of the cluster. The ground floor note is designed to welcome the morning sunlight and shaded at the afternoon hot suns by the building shadow, so it is very precise to the shadows casting. Food court that serve as a landmark for the Pantai Permai, and then we continue the bazaar trails that originate there. We connect back each of the pedestrian infrastructures and also to the residents' PPR. The buildings are cross-ventilated, which reduce the burdens of air conditioning, and also solar energy harvest at the rooftop. We also harvest the rainwater, and each tank is located at the common ground so that they can use for the permacultures. We also comply to GBI assessment too for the sustainable approach. Instead of a big communities, we distributed them into the cluster, which consists of 28 family and 1 cluster rep and 1 common grounds. The benefit is that if future MCO happens again, instead of locking themselves in the units, they can always access to the common ground. So kids can still play around at the common grounds. Community can still farm their vegetables for their sustainable use. For me, instead of giving a fancy facilities for them, it is about how to create the spaces that let the community grow with it and grow on it. So it belongs to that communities. And a small community stack it up together in a high rise, it forms a vertical village. Instead of wasting the ground floor for the open car park, we can turn it into a more valuable way, which is a retail with the commercial value, so that it helps to sustain and maintain back to the management teams. The porosities of the ground floors allow the pedestrian to cross through our buildings with more safer and comfortable ways. I believe the qualities of living inside is far more important than what the forms look like in the residential projects. Because it is a place where we live, it is a place where our hearts belongs to.